Government's surprise U-turn on some aspects of visa regulations, although some argue the changes have not gone far enough. Government announced on Friday that some of the more onerous provisions had been eased. It has been estimated that the regulations caused massive reductions in tourist arrivals to SA, costing the economy billions of rand. Home Affairs Minister Malusi Gigaba had earlier insisted that the regulations were not negotiable and were essential for state security and to curb child trafficking. Inbound travellers accompanied by minor children will now no longer be required to produce an unabridged birth certificate, and prospective visitors will not have to apply for visas in person. Well, I'm joined now on the line from Pretoria by Tourism Minister Derek Hanekom. Minister, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for speaking to me. I suppose the big move now is getting this message across to all the potential international visitors.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And to get the information across to those who facilitate travel, to tour operators, travel agents, to get it to our missions all over the world, to get it out to our country offices of SA Tourism, so that people know what are the requirements. I should immediately say, though, that the decisions that Cabinet took, which are very positive and which take us a long way forward, some of them require certain things to be done in order to give them effect. So it's not like everything can kick in tomorrow. There were short-term measures and medium-term measures, etc. So certain things have to be done before we, where, for example, in visa requiring countries who would now be able to go via a travel agent, the Cabinet decision was that we need to compile a list of accredited travel agents in those countries. And so we are hard at work trying to compile that list. But it's only once that list is verified will the applications be able to be made, or will those travel agents be able to make applications on behalf of their clients. So there's a bit of work to be done, but a lot of communication to be done as well, because you know what, I have been on other radio interviews, and it's clear it becomes increasingly clear that the matter is not that simple. It's quite complex and not all that easy to understand necessarily, because it's not a single measure that applies to all countries or to all people. It's different measures applying to different categories of people.
Yeah. Minister, as complex as it is, I mean, I would imagine that there are, as you say, some short-term goals here that need to be prioritized.
Oh, yeah.
Can we look at some sort of time frame here, or is that a difficult question?
No, not really. The exact time frames would have to be calculated and be formulated with the Department of Home Affairs. The Department of Home Affairs did undertake with the Department of Tourism to give feedback to the industry in about a week or so from now on the sort of the more detailed plans, if you like. But the shorter term measures are, and the ones that are fairly easy to effect, would be let's say where we currently require in-person applications from people in countries requiring visas. In some countries, we can get that list of travel agents, we can get it very rapidly. And so some of these measures will kick in within a month, I'm quite confident. At the moment, we're looking at the three big countries that are in the category of countries that require visas, would be China, India, and Russia would be the BRICS countries, and then Nigeria on the African continent. So, with China, which is the biggest one of them by a long way, it should be relatively easy to get the travel agencies agreed to. And that would go a long way towards increasing our visitor numbers. It doesn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of work to do to recover the ground. Okay, that's one example, the in-person visa requirements. On the requirements for minors, again, we have to be very clear that we have brought, the decision brings us in line with good international practice. So countries requiring visas, as you apply for your visa and you're traveling with a child or it's an under 18, the documents would still have to be brought in your visa application. If you are in a visa-exempt country, like the UK, Germany, and the USA, you would not be required to carry those documents anymore as a travel document.
Okay, Minister, I'm going to have to cut you off there because of time, but thank you very much indeed. We'll try and catch up on that story in our later bulletins as well. But at this point, let me bring in David